Hey, good morning, boys and girls. Ross Brisva here from Aruba ROI Marketing. It is time for that weekly coffee break, and I always have mine. I hope you have yours. The idea behind our coffee breaks is literally to take 10 to 20 minutes to talk about one subject item within the marketing, telecommunications, or technology arena. And today we're going to talk a little bit about websites. We haven't done that yet. And I know that some people think maybe we don't need a website anymore because I have a Facebook page or I have an Instagram account. Truth be told, you really absolutely should have a website. And there are many reasons for it. And if you have a website and you haven't really touched it or looked at it in a while, we're going to talk today about 9 reasons why you probably need a new website soon, if not yesterday. All right, so let me get to going. I'm going to move this out of the way over here, and let's get this thing going. All right, there we go. 9 signs you need a new website ASAP. All right, so let's talk about that. Whoops. There we go. Oh, I got a little excited again. There we go. Let's try that one more time. All right, here we go. So a little bit about us. We started February of 2000 as AIM Group. Been around for 22 years. We've done it all. And back 2000, we actually started with websites because back then, that's all there was, right? So we've been really working with websites for a very long time, all the good, bad, and in between. And of course, now we're doing a lot more with regards to digital marketing, automation marketing. But today we are discussing these items. One reason that you would need to look at your website is if it takes forever to load, if it's not accessible, if it's not mobile optimized. That should actually be probably number 1. Bounce rate is sky high, and we will talk a little bit about what exactly a bounce rate is and why it's important to you. You're not getting any inquiries or calls. Your brand has outgrown the existing design, which sometimes the website's the last thing people think about. Simple edits are becoming too expensive. You're not getting found on Google, right? They're in the search results, or it's been at least 2 years since your last website redesign. So one of the most common questions we hear from businesses is, how can I tell if my company needs a new website? Well, this is a critical question because your website really is the digital face of your business and really can be one of the best sources for accumulating more leads and sales. When people look you up online, if they're doing a Google search or otherwise, what you fill in on the search results is important. And a website can go into a lot more greater detail about who you are and what you do, who you serve, what your products and services are, than let's say a Facebook page. Why? Because Facebook page is a news feed, and I'm really literally going to scroll to try to figure out who you are and what you sell and what you do. Of course, there is the about section, but there's limited space. So there's not a lot you can do or say there that a website would really be able to go into greater details. So we look at a variety of factors to help determine whether or not you need a website redesign. We're going to discuss them here today. Many signs that your company needs that website redesign, but some are more important than others. And we consider the following to be some of the most important factors. All right, so first and foremost, your website takes forever to load. Page load speed is everything. No one wants to wait for a website to load for more than a few seconds. And you probably know this as well as everyone else because you're a user and you go looking for services and products on people's websites. And I guarantee that if it doesn't load quickly, you're off to the next, right? Same with your website. If it's slow, buyers are more apt to just lose interest and jump back to the search results and check out someone else's website who obviously could be one of your competitors. But it's not just users who look at page speed. Google does as well, and it's very important. If your website's slow, that can drastically affect your ranking in the search results with Google. We don't want to piss them off. Google started using site speed as a ranking signal in their algorithm way back in 2010. But in 2018, they doubled down on the importance of page speed because now they started to apply it toward the mobile page speed as a ranking part of their search results for mobile. And in May 2020, they announced that a new update was going to go live in 2022, and that will start judging web pages based on page experience, so the whole thing. And actually, that has already happened, the update. So page experience comprises a number of factors, including mobile friendliness, HTTPS security. So that means if you have the certificate set up on your website or your domain, then you'll see the HTTPS. That means it's more secure. And of course, page speed. So in the 2022 update, Google's core web vitals are looking for websites whose largest contentful paint occurs within 2.5 seconds and first input delay measures less than 100 milliseconds. So if that sounds Greek, I agree. We are going to put a link to Google's document that goes into greater detail, explains what all that is and what it is that you can do to also check out your own. So like here, you can go to Google's page speed insights to see your website, page speed hits the mark, if it does. And if it doesn't, you should seriously consider redesigning your website, especially since that update has already occurred. All right, your website is not accessible. Now, what does that mean? It's important to make your website WCAG accessible. An accessible website simply means that your website is coded so that it can be read by screen readers and can be used by people with various disabilities. You can read more about that and the most recent accessibility guidelines by reading up on the World Wide Web Consortium's WCAG 2.1 guidelines. In addition to making your website more accessible to people with disabilities, a WCAG website, accessible website may also prevent your business from having problems. If you're not sure if your website is accessible or not, WebAIM is a good place to start. Although it's not guaranteed to catch all the ADA compliance issues, this free tool will give you an initial baseline of kind of where you stand and what are some of the things you need to do to fix it. All right, so your website is not mobile optimized or what we call responsive. This is probably something that you've probably already heard for a couple of years now. Smartphones are not going away anytime soon, if ever. In fact, many people are spending more and more time online using just their phones. So as a result, businesses need a website that works great on every design. The solution we recommend is called a responsive website. A responsive website is a website that's easy to use on desktops, tablets, and smartphones because the content of the site will automatically adjust to fit the size, the large and small different screens. In fact, nowadays, most website developers will actually just build specifically for mobile and then adjust for the others outwards. It used to be we would build for desktop and then we would think about somehow changing that to be for the mobile phone after the fact. No more. All right, so let's talk about bounce rate. All right, so your website's bounce rate, and this is something you can find in your Google Analytics reports. And if you don't have Google Analytics set up, call us, let us know. That's the percentage of visitors who land on your website and then they leave without looking at any other pages, right? So how quickly do they bounce off of your website? So a bounce rate between 40 to 50% is generally considered a decent bounce rate, although it'd be a lot better if we could get it between 20 and 30, as this basically says that 50 to 60% of the people who land on your website are actually sticking around and diving deeper into the website. The criteria for determining what is a good bounce rate include a number of factors. For example, your homepage versus a blog post. And one of our goals when redesigning your website is to help decrease bounce rate. All right, so you're not getting enough inquiries or calls from your website. So if you notice that your phones have been ringing less and less, are you seeing a decrease in sales, special inquiries, or form submissions from your website? So even if your website is getting a lot of traffic, that means a lot of people are going to it, and if you're not seeing a steady increase in leads or sales, then your website may have a problem converting visitors to leads, guests, or customers, and having some sort of engagement with the website. So as part of the website redesign process, we can help you improve those conversions on your website. All right, your brand has outgrown the existing design. So has your company gone through rebranding since the last time you did anything with your website? A new logo, a new color palette. Your website sends a clear message about your brand identity and personality to potential customers. So you have to make sure that your brand's identity isn't being stolen by a bad or simply outdated design, right? So if your website, think of it as part of your overall branding. So if you're handing out a business card and it has the new logo on it, and they go to your website and it has an old logo and an old look and feel, then obviously your messaging is inconsistent, and that's what we're trying to avoid here. All right, simple website edits are getting too expensive. All right, so in the days of needing a degree in programming or advanced HTML skills, just to add a new page or update your website, they're long gone, right? So there's a lot of content management systems out there that are making it easier for just about anybody to manage a website, add new pages, change text, and add photos to the website. In the old days, we used to have to create the graphic design first, and then we would slice that up and have it work with the HTML code. So imagine having someone that doesn't know anything about website design try to edit your website. That was in the old days. Now we have great tools like WordPress and other drag and drop content management systems that make it a lot easier. All right, you're not getting found in search results from Google. All right, this is a big one, right? So if your website isn't ranking near the top of the organic, so unpaid search results, that means you're not paying Google to be showing at the top, right? If you're not at the top of the search results for important keywords that your potential customers are typing in to try to find your products or services online, then you could be missing out on traffic, leads, and of course, sales. There's a lot that goes into performing SEO or search engine optimization, but even the fundamental components of SEO on your website can cause a noticeable shift in your rankings in the search engines and help bring more searchers to your website. This is something that we are really diving into much more now. If you're interested in learning a lot more about SEO and things we can do with Google, please let us know. Not just with the website, but just even your own profile, managing your own profile. All right. Or it's been 5+ years since your last website design. That happens, right? The website's good. It has our phone number, has our email address. What else, what else do we need to do? For most businesses, we typically recommend a website redesign every 2 to 3 years. Website design trends come and go. What was good a couple of years ago may not last anymore or be good now. So for example, homepage sliders, when you go to the website and you have those big images and they would slide and show you cool features of your resort or your restaurant. They were all the rage, right? But then companies discovered that loading a series, because you have to load all of these web images onto somebody's computer or phone before it will start to slide and rotate, right? If you're doing that, it could lead to slower website speeds, which we've talked about, and that would be a negative experience for the user. And not surprisingly, this led to many companies searching for alternatives from the website sliders. All right, that's it for the presentation. Those are the 9 signs. There's probably more, but I think those are the most valuable, most important to think about. Of course, if you have any other questions related to website design, or, hey, you want us to take a look and give you an evaluation, please let us know. And of course, as we mentioned about SEO and Google, please let us know if there's anything that you'd like us, if you'd like to learn more about us helping to manage your Google business profile or help you to understand what's important. Please let us know. There's our contact details. Let me see if I got any questions. No, I am getting some love though. That's great. So have a great rest of the day, and we will see you next week.